If you're concerned about world peace, violence, and conflict, you'll want to attend the World Forum 2007 to be held in San Francisco, February 1st. Now, world leaders will be leading dialogues on the topic of facing violence. And with me now are two of the Bay Area women who are behind the project. World Forum 2007 co-producer and co-founder, the Honorable Judge Rebecca Westerfield, and also Deborah Goldblatt. She is the director of the Dialogue Project for Youth, right? And I know we'll get that right in a second.
That's right.
But congratulations, this is something that is huge for San Francisco, huge for women who are behind this project. And we're like a week away. You guys have to be nervous and nuts.
And excited.
And excited,
anticipating what we think is going to be a great program, because what we're trying to do with this is not just to have world experts talk about these issues, world experts like Elie Wiesel and Madeleine Albright and others, but to actually have the participants engage in dialogue on the same subject matter so that it really becomes like a learning laboratory. So there's both content and experience with the forum, and we think that hopefully will make it a different kind of experience for folks, be a true learning experience on how it is that we become reactive, where do our buttons get pushed, and to talk about violence and how to meet it and respond to it.
Now, ladies, we all, because of the conflicts that we're having around the world, everybody gets into these smaller discussions with friends and family. How do you get together with a small handful of women and say, we're going to really make this happen and make an impact on society and invite these world leaders to talk to us and give us their thoughts and kind of help us shape our own thoughts and procedures and maybe taking care of conflict or dealing with conflict. I mean, this is kind of like a coffee clutch of women just sitting around and kind of brainstorming. How did it happen?
Well, we decided that we wanted to to create authentic dialogue, because we believe that authentic action can't happen without authentic dialogue. So we tried to practice that among ourselves. And there are three other co-founders of the RockRose Institute. And we began to talk about this issue of violence and the cycle of revenge. We're all lawyers. So justice was very important to us. We saw so much violence being done in the name of justice or in the name of God that we thought the focal point of justice and religion was a natural focal point to surface some of these issues. Then we shared these ideas with our friend Deborah Goldblatt, who is also interested in obviously this issue of violence and interested in helping mentor our youth in conflict resolution. And I'd like Deborah to talk about that piece, because I think the Youth Dialogue Project is one of the most important components of this forum.
Well, we're talking about a 3-day forum, and you're specifically interested in reaching out to youth and bringing them into the discussion.
That's right. It was very important for all of us that youth were included in these dialogues and that they be heard and have a voice. And so we created what we call the Youth Dialogue Project by inviting young people from 5 different countries to have dialogue.
Wow.
And they're coming from the north, south, east, west, in the middle of the world. And they're in fact on their way as we speak. So the forum has already begun in a sense. We have young people coming from South Africa, young people coming from Denmark, from Cyprus, and from the United States. It's going to be in New Zealand too, and it's going to be very exciting just in these next few days.
Is this youth talking to youth?
Yes, it's been youth talking to youth, and they've been preparing themselves to come to the table, as it were, to have these intergenerational conversations that we're going to have at the forum.
Now, when the public comes, there's 3 days of events, breakout sessions, there could be luncheons to go to, and I can just imagine going to something like this and somewhat being not only enlightened, but overwhelmed with all of this wonderful information. And if I walk away saying, wow, I was overcome with all this information, as an individual, what am I going to do? What do you want me to walk away with in saying, I attended this wonderful event, now what I do with that information?
And this is exactly one of the issues we want every person who comes to integrate and to think about, because there is going to be a moment during the forum itself where we're going to ask each individual, think about what action will you now take, knowing what you know. It may be something small, it may be wanting to learn more. It may be something larger, like creating their own world forum. But we want each person to walk out of there with a personal commitment to some initiative of real dialogue and action.
This is educating us, informing us towards communications.
That's
Absolutely.
Right, so that we can communicate with each other. Obviously, when you're saying, oh my gosh, there's world conflict, and how am I going to do my part to end, you know, to resolve these conflicts? It's one little pebble in a big pond.
That's right.
It's that little, you know, the village, it takes a village to do everything. That's what you're trying to
That's
do.
exactly
It's the conversation in the kitchen. All the way out to the far reaches of the world,
Bring
whatever
it to
the
your
impact
friends and
is.
family.
That's right.
Let them know what you've learned and kind of pay it forward, if you will.
Thank
That's
you,
right.
Rosy. That's exactly what we're trying to do. And we
Yes.
think that it matters. We think it starts with the individual, it moves into the community, and moves into the world.
And this was 2 years in the making.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's a little soon to ask you, but you know, this is going to be a great success. I know that. There are tickets still available, so we want people to call and find out about that.
right.
But what are your plans afterwards?
Well, we're already beginning some action networks. We will continue to reach out to folks and be thinking about what the next steps will be with some of our partnering organizations. And again, if folks go to the website, they'll see a very impressive list, over 50 partnering organizations who are already doing fabulous work. So we're looking for more opportunity to do work with these groups as well.
So not necessarily a yearly forum, but
No.
maybe something that's more regular, more annual here in the Bay Area?
Well, the Youth Dialogue Project will continue on an ongoing basis, and the youth, having begun several months before the forum, will now go back and continue several months after and initiate their own dialogues within their own networks and own organizations
And I think
that
that's
they're
really
representing.
important because, you know, as I said, youth are our future,
right.
and they need to be participating
Right.
in this
That's right.
and to carry on.
And let me also say, by youth, we are defining youth, at least for purposes of this forum, as being ages 18 to 25.
Okay.
So these are young people who really are young adults who are beginning to move into their careers, some of them, and we are looking forward to hearing from them as well as to what they've learned and what they've seen already about conflict
This is
resolution.
exciting. Thank you for sharing the information.
Thank
Much
you.
luck to you.
Thank you,
And
Rosy.
again, the information will be up on the screen in just a second. It's not too late to go ahead and sign up and register, and I think you'll learn a lot. But when we come back, we're going to find out if you can make quick and healthy meals in only 7 minutes. We'll find out. Don't go away. We'll be right back.